Solasta 2 feels like a confident continuation of everything that made the first game special, while clearly aiming higher in scope and ambition. From the moment you step into the world, it's obvious this is a single-player, party-based tactical RPG built for players who love classic tabletop-inspired experiences. There's no real-time chaos here and no co-op focus during the campaign. Instead, the game leans fully into turn-based combat, careful planning, and meaningful decisions that shape how your adventure unfolds. The setting immediately sets the tone. This time, you're leaving behind familiar lands and traveling to the distant continent of Neokos, a place that feels unexplored, dangerous, and full of hidden history. The story takes place decades after the events of Crown of the Magister, so the world feels older and more layered, shaped by the consequences of the past. There's a strong sense of legacy running through the narrative, especially with the growing threat of the Shadwin, an ancient force tied to corruption and slow decay. It's the kind of threat that doesn't rush at you all at once, but lingers in the background, influencing events and choices as you move forward. Visually, Solasta 2 shows clear improvement over its predecessor. The graphics still embrace a grounded fantasy style, rather than flashy spectacle, but everything feels more refined. Character models are more expressive, environments have more depth, and lighting plays a bigger role in setting mood and tension. Cities feel alive, wilderness areas feel dangerous, and dungeons feel oppressive in a way that fits the tone of a classic Dungeons & Dragons campaign. It's not trying to be ultra-realistic, but the art direction supports immersion, especially when paired with the camera angles during dialogue and combat. Exploration is one of the biggest changes, and it's immediately noticeable. Unlike the more segmented structure of the first game, Solasta 2 introduces open-world exploration across Neokos. You're no longer just hopping between locations on a static map. Instead, you travel across a fully realized world map that feels like a journey in itself. Movement has weight and consequence, especially with the new hex-based system. Each terrain type matters, and choosing whether to stay on roads or cut through rough land becomes a meaningful decision rather than a cosmetic one. Travel isn't just filler here. Forced marches can exhaust your party, and exhaustion directly affects combat performance. You start feeling those penalties when dice rolls go wrong, movement slows down, and enemies suddenly feel much more threatening than they did a few encounters ago. It creates a natural risk versus reward system that feels very true to tabletop RPG logic. You can push forward, but the game makes sure you understand the cost. World map events add even more personality to exploration. These aren't just random fights thrown at you for experience points. Some events are narrative-driven, others test your skills through dialogue checks, and some can escalate into dangerous encounters depending on time of day, terrain, or previous decisions. It makes the world feel reactive, as if it exists independently of your party, rather than being built solely for your convenience. Combat remains the heart of Solasta 2, and it's clear tactical adventures stayed faithful to their roots. Battles are fully turn-based, built around positioning, line of sight, elevation, and smart use of abilities. If you're careless, you'll feel it immediately. Flanking, opportunity attacks, spell placement, and environmental awareness all matter. This isn't a game where you can brute force your way through fights without understanding the system. The game continues to use the 2024 rule set of Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, and that authenticity really shows. Spells behave the way you expect them to, dice rolls determine outcomes in a transparent way, and success often depends on preparation rather than reflexes. Spell slots, concentration, reactions, and class abilities all play into combat decisions, making each encounter feel like a puzzle rather than a brawl. Party composition is another area where Solasta 2 shines. You create and control a full party of 4 adventurers, and their synergy matters a lot. Classes feel distinct, and even in early access, there's a strong sense of identity in how each character plays. Multiclassing opens up even more experimentation, letting you tailor characters to fit your preferred strategy rather than locking you into rigid roles. What really elevates the experience is how the game treats player choice. Dialogue isn't just flavor text. Decisions affect relationships, story outcomes, and sometimes even which paths remain open to you. Dice rolls during conversations can completely change how situations resolve, which adds tension even outside of combat. You're never fully in control, and that uncertainty feels intentional, mirroring the unpredictability of tabletop sessions. Narratively, Solasta 2 takes a slower, more deliberate approach. It doesn't rush to explain everything up front. Instead, it lets character interactions, environmental storytelling, and gradual reveals build the bigger picture. Companions feel more fleshed out this time, with clearer personalities and stronger voice acting. Even small exchanges hint at deeper motivations and potential conflicts within the group. The companions shown so far already suggest a strong focus on character-driven storytelling. They don't feel like interchangeable units on a grid, but like individuals with opinions, histories, and reactions to the world around them. That makes choices feel heavier, especially when decisions might put party members at odds or push them into uncomfortable situations. The early access version gives a clear picture of what the developers are aiming for. With around 10 hours of content and a low level cap, it's not meant to show everything, but it does a good job of demonstrating systems, pacing, and overall direction. Even in this limited form, the game already feels cohesive, which is a strong sign for its long-term potential. One of the most interesting design choices is how freedom is handled. You can roam widely, but that freedom comes with danger. The game doesn't scale everything perfectly to your level, and wandering into the wrong area at the wrong time can end badly. That sense of risk adds tension and makes preparation feel meaningful, especially when traveling at night or through unfamiliar terrain. Inventory management has also seen quality of life improvements. The new grid view makes managing gear far less frustrating, especially during longer sessions. It's a small change, but one that shows the developers are paying attention to feedback and practical usability. Overall, Solasta 2 feels like a game made by people who genuinely understand and respect tactical RPG fans. It doesn't chase trends or try to simplify systems for mass appeal. Instead, it doubles down on what makes this genre special: strategy, choice, consequence, and immersion. It rewards patience, planning, and curiosity, and it trusts players to engage with its mechanics rather than rushing them through content. If you enjoyed Crown of the Magister, Solasta 2 feels like a natural evolution rather than a reinvention. And if you're new to the series, it offers a deep, rewarding entry point into turn-based RPGs inspired by classic Dungeons & Dragons. It's thoughtful, challenging, and clearly built with long-term depth in mind, making it a game worth keeping a close eye on as development continues.
This fort looks very Manichaean.
That would mean it's thousands of years old.
There's no doubt. The style here is typical of the second expansion.
Show off.
Damn, it stinks.